Have you ever had a psilocybin movie night? Yo, I got notes. Okay? This might get deep, alright? This might get deep. You know, I usually don't go off of notes. Usually I just go off the top of my head. But I had so many amazing moments that I never thought of before watching these movies, okay? So, let's go on a trip. Try to keep an open mind. And let me know what you think, okay? So, first, Alice in Wonderland. First of all, I've always loved Alice in Wonderland, okay? The Mad Hatter and me, man, we get along. We get along real good, okay? However, this was the first time I had ever watched it and realized that the queen and the castle and that whole organization was like representing the government and the elite that prey on and use up the lower class or the less educated or the poor. Okay, I never thought about it from like a world standpoint before. And then, oh my gosh, okay, so then I realized that Alice thinks she's in a dream, right? This whole time she thinks she's in a dream. So she's sleeping. But within this dream, she learns all of these lessons for her life. Okay? So then I got to thinking, like, does that mean that, like, the people who haven't woke up yet or haven't started looking inward yet or aren't on their personal journey yet, does that mean that they're still just learning their lessons? Okay, because like let me elaborate. So there was a specific point in my life after a very traumatic event that caused me to start living for myself instead of everyone else. Caused me to starting to get to know myself, starting to get to learn me instead of everybody else. And before that specific point, I was still functioning and I was still a human and I was still working and I still raised a child and I was still going through the motions. But even throughout those years, I always had this feeling of like just going through the motions. Like, what are we doing here? Like, what is this? But I never took the step to learn or to investigate or to explore. You know, I was still just functioning off of everything that had been taught to me by other humans, okay? So it made me wonder, and I low-key felt like I was a zombie, kind of like walking around, you know? I'm not saying that I didn't have great experiences or I wasn't happy or I didn't have emotion, not like that. It's just once you start on your journey, your getting to know you, your self-care, it can be called a million things, your adventure, your life, your spirituality, your whatever. For me, there was a very big switch of mindset and of curiosity, I guess, even. Like, I'm curious about things I never was back then, even though I still felt like I was just going through these motions. You know what I mean? So it made me think. I was sitting there watching Alice, and she's in this dream, and you know, the Mad Hatter keeps asking her, and you still think this is a dream? And she's like, well, yes, and it's my dream, so why isn't it working out the way I want? But she had to go through these situations she didn't want to go through within her dream. And I'm not saying like we learn all of our lessons while we're asleep. I'm not saying that like physically asleep. I'm saying like your mind hasn't quite woke up yet, maybe. I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there. I had all these thoughts. I started taking notes and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to tell my YouTube family about this. This would be a great video. And then it gets so much deeper. We're only scratching the surface, okay? So let me stay on these notes so we're not here for 5 hours, okay? So, oh, and at one point in her dream, she's up against the Jabberwocky, is that his name? Okay, this big monstrous demon that she has to defeat, right? And she's scared and hesitant, but she starts naming all of the things that have happened within this dream that were impossible, that she didn't believe could happen. Like, for instance, she goes, there is a place called Wonderland. I almost called it Neverland. Oh, I should watch Peter Pan next. I wonder what secret messages are in there that I haven't realized yet. Okay. But anyway, she says, there is a place called Wonderland. Animals can talk. And that's a whole nother video for a whole nother time. But these are things that she realized in her dream. I didn't write them all down because I thought I was going to recall all of them at this moment. However, apparently I can't. But anyway, she was naming several things that happened within her dream that she didn't think could happen. But they had all happened up to that point. And so this demon is in front of her, the Jabberwocky or whatever. And the last thing that she says is, slay the Jabberwocky. And then, don't you know, she goes and does it. But in my brain, I was like, that's a crazy display of emotional intelligence and of self-confidence building and of a process of just how to believe in yourself and to recall situations in the past that you didn't think were possible, that you didn't think you could get out of them, that you didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel, but you're still standing here today, that I'm still standing here today. And now I've had so many of those experiences that when I face another one, I think about those, okay? And I'm like, well, dang, I didn't think I could figure that out or do that, and somehow I made it happen. And you realize you're building this confidence along the way so that pretty soon you're not even worried about what's going to happen, because even if it doesn't turn out the way you think, something is going to happen, because every situation up until right now, even in your life right now, something has worked out. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here watching this. And there's a reason you're here watching this, okay? So I thought that was like a very interesting thing that I, that resonated with me in my life recently. And then it was just like, another thing was like living in abundance. Like, living in abundance doesn't mean you always have money or you always have everything you want. She was living in abundance in that moment, not thinking about getting beaten by the Jabberwocky. She was living in abundance and filling her brain with the abundant, successful things that she had done. Whether it be in a dream or not, apply this to your life, that she had done that she didn't think she could do. Situations that she got out of that she didn't think she could do in the first place. Man, okay, I'm gonna leave that one there. Okay? Oh, that might have been all my notes on. Okay. First of all, actually, before Alice, we started off with Oz. Okay? I love Oz. I love, what's the real name of it? Oh, The Wizard of Oz, obviously. But the newest one that's just focused on Oz is just called Oz. That's really cool, too. That has a lot of different connotations that I don't really want to get into. But, like, one quick thing that I did think about when I was watching that was this big, powerful, mighty being that's in the smoke, that they make the illusion of the Wizard of Oz when he's trying to defeat the two witches, the wicked witches, right? So he's portrayed in clouds of smoke, right? But it's just an illusion, and the witches are shooting fireballs at him and stuff. And I'm like, that's interesting. I was taught, or it reminded me of images that I've seen of a white God, a white man that some people call God, in clouds of smoke. But it was just an illusion. They tried to shoot him and it just went right through the smoke. And it wasn't really there. It was just something that some other human was creating and giving us an optical illusion to sway our belief in one way or the other, okay? And I'm going to leave that at that, but that was just a thought I had about that. Then, the golden compass, y'all. Have you seen the golden compass? Apparently, it's not that new. It came out in 2007, I think. Okay, my partner knew about it. This, I don't know if I was peeking right now or something, but like, bro, go watch the golden compass and just keep an open mind and try to not just watch it for the story. Try to watch it and see how you could apply it in our live world, okay? Now, again, these are only my thoughts. These are only, I'm not trying to make you think one way or the other. I'm just trying to help you think, okay? And share how I think, okay? So, feel free to comment below if you agree or disagree. Respectful debate, please, okay? No drama, no bicker backer. You open my mind, I open yours, okay? Here, so, the golden compass. In a nutshell, well, there's a lot of things, and I don't want to spoil the movie. So I'm just going to talk about the things that I extracted from it. Okay, so there's this organization called the Magisterium. Okay, and they acted like, this is in a different world, by the way. Okay, they acted like they were working for the people. And they were helping the people by placing laws and restrictions and ways of life for them to follow. And if they didn't, they faced consequences. Okay? And immediately when I saw it, I'm like, oh, that's a flashback. That's, okay, you know. I related it in my own personal experience to my experience in the church, okay? In the Catholic Church. And let's see, there was another part that, oh yeah, so they in quotes, they said, well, you have to do this way because we're keeping you out of danger. And we're doing this and we're making you do this, you know, whatever it was, live this way or do this because we're protecting you, okay? So, gosh, I'm trying to figure out how not to give away. I realize that if I read all this and kind of talk on all of it, I'm going to give away the entire movie. But anyway, I mean, it's the message. Go and get the message. So there was this dust that the Magisterium was trying to keep everybody away from, okay? And they just called it dust. And immediately that made me think, wow, in the church there was when we went to Ash Wednesday, they put ashes on our forehead. And they said something along the lines of, thou art dust and to dust thou shalt return, to remind us all that we are dust, apparently, okay? And then my brain went to, I've been seeing things about Stardust and about, things have been popping up on my Facebook for some reason about which kind of Stardust are you, maybe, or something like that. And I know that there's some spiritual connection with Stardust and moon dust. Is that even a thing? I don't know. I've been wanting to learn about it, but I haven't. But this kind of just brought it all together, okay? So apparently this dust is like the ability to travel between worlds, whether physically or within your mind. And the Magisterium is this company that is trying to keep everybody away from the dust, because if they do, they will be too intelligent and too enlightened and too powerful for the Magisterium to continue running what they got running. And they got a lot of stuff running, bro. They got this sector called the Gobblers, right? And the Gobblers go and they steal little kids, right? okay? And they prey on the orphans and the poor and the ones that don't have much family, or the ones that are disconnected. And they take them to the north, and they take them into this experimental like dome type thing, okay? And gosh, I don't want to explain all of it, but basically they're doing experiments on these kids that they stole, right? And come to find out that obviously the magistrate is running this entire organization, even though they tell them that they're actually trying to fight it. Does that sound familiar? Okay, I didn't even think about that. We're not going to get into that rabbit hole right now, but we'll come back to it. So that whole situation with stealing the kids and running experiments on them, that reminded me of a movie that I saw, or it's kind of like a documentary. It is a documentary about a military operation. Let me give you the name here. It's called the Stanford Experiment. Okay, now this experiment is crazy. Okay. It was a military experiment that they ran on U.S. soldiers. The U.S. ran on U.S. soldiers. Hi, buddy. Did you want to get you want to get up here on the video? You want to come say hi? Come here. Come here. Yeah. He's got to say hi. Say what's up. Okay? Oh, it's okay. I got you. Okay, so they randomly selected, again, preying on the weak, preying on those who don't have much family or any, preying on those that won't be missed. Okay? They ran this experiment. They specifically, not randomly, they specifically chose soldiers who were already enlisted. Okay? They looked at their background and they chose them based on basically that they wouldn't be missed, that they didn't have much family, that this or that, okay? And they told them that they were basically selected because they were special to help the army, to help the military rather. I don't know what sect it was, but or branch. Buddy, you're doing a lot. I love you too, but that's my leg, not yours, okay? Hold on. I'm going to send you out with Daddy. Either you sit here, don't get an attitude with me, or you go out with Daddy. You want to go out with Daddy? Go. Whew. Okay. Anyway, he was doing a lot. So, okay, the experiment was basically, and I don't want to spoil this for you either, but this was crazy, and this was documented within the U.S. military. It's called the Stanford Experiment. They took, I think, 12 and 12. Okay, so I think they started with 24 soldiers, okay? And half of them had to pretend and play like they were prison guards. Half of them had to pretend and play like they were prisoners, okay? And the experiment was supposed to prove... Let me see if I'm getting all this right. I haven't watched this in a while. Okay. Maybe I don't need to get into the details about this. But basically, the connection is, go watch it for yourself and see, because I don't want to give wrong information. It's mind-blowing, though. It's mind-blowing. And they found some of those soldiers years later when this documentary came out. I think it happened sometime in the 80s, because I was born in the 80s. And I'm like, what? They were doing this when I was alive? Are you freaking kidding me, bro? And come to find out, the whole thing he was trying to prove wasn't even proved, because he was telling the soldiers how to act a certain way and what punishments to impose on the prisoners that were playing. And it was crazy, okay? But the thing of it is that the government, this organization, the magistrate in the Golden Compass movie, is stealing people, telling them, yes, you're going to come help your country. And they're running experiments on them. Like, what? Okay. The next thing was, I was going to talk about something else, but that's going to really ruin the Golden Compass movie. Oh, one thing is the Golden Compass, okay. The Golden Compass was actually this this compass with pictures around the outside. And it was given to this little girl, right? And it could show the truth about certain situations, okay? But it wasn't like a yes or no answer. It was showing a picture within dust, giving information for that little girl to make her own, what's the word I'm looking for? To make her own, I don't want to say assumption, but to make her own educated decision of what the answer was, okay? But the thing that I thought was interesting about this is that not everybody could read the golden compass. This little girl just naturally could. And at first she didn't even know how to use it, okay? And that made me think like, okay, so light workers. I really don't know much about this. Well, what I do know is that from the little snippets I've seen online is that light workers are people who were specifically put on this earth to bring light and love to the world. Okay, I don't know if that's right, so correct me if I'm wrong. But as a generalized, description of what I think they are. But not everybody is a light worker. Just like not everybody's on the same journey. Not everybody's looking for the light yet, or they may never in this human lifetime. I don't know. I haven't figured that stuff out yet. But I don't know. Does that mean like I gotta read up on that more. I gotta read up on that more, and like, I guess what I'm trying to say, does that mean that some of us have this calling to share these things that we've thought about for so long, and come to these logical, resolutions, and do some of us like me just have this really strong desire to help people and to connect and to share their knowledge from a place of love and understanding and acceptance? And is that what a light worker is? And does that mean that that's what I am? I mean, I know I'm special. We've already established that. I know I'm special, baby. But like, just how special am I? And just how special are you if you're still watching and interested in this line of thought? I've always thought that anybody could be this special, I'm not better than anybody. We're all human, okay? But I've always thought if people had the desire and the will or the want or the environment to spend the time and energy learning and gathering information and adding to like this matrix of knowledge that some of us have, and being able to connect the dots and understanding that this thing over here and this thing over here and this thing over here are all connected in some way, bro. And these movies just really confirmed that. Oh gosh, and then the whole thing, to culminate the whole thing and wrap it all up, is that after I started realizing how serious some of these messages can be, it made me start thinking, but they're hidden within these movies, okay? The Golden Compass, my partner said that it's not even allowed to be streamed for free. And granted, not one streaming service had it for free. We had to pay a price to rent it to be able to view it. But he said that that's because there's restrictions, licensing restrictions on it, so that it's not widespread to the world, so that the way of thinking, and this is like a kid's movie. Like if I had watched this a couple years ago, I honestly probably wouldn't have even finished it, because it's so sci-fi, science, okay? Science fiction or nonfiction, which one, you get to decide. But I used to only watch things that I thought were realistic, that I thought could truly happen in real life. Otherwise, I felt like it was a waste of my time. Wow, how close-minded thinking was that now, in retrospect. But now, specifically, because my partner has opened me up to this world of movies that seem impossible, that seem like they're not related to our world at all until you start watching them not with your eyes closed, with your brain, with your third eye. I don't even, that's such a cliche. Nobody really understands what that means, but with the eye that doesn't see. And your eye, like, oh gosh, it's just so crazy, guys. It's so crazy. I hope some of you could feel my excitement, because listen. Okay. Anyway, to wrap it all up, to finish my thought, it made me think of all these hidden messages in these movies, okay? And, and then on the Golden Compass, I was just reading a Wikipedia article about it, and it said that when it was released, it was originally released in England, I believe. When it was released in the US, it actually faced a lot of criticism and a lot of backlash from Catholic and Christian churches across the country, because they felt that it undermined their belief and that it had atheistic teachings within it. So they didn't want it to be shown in the US, because they were worried that it would open minds and start people thinking in a different way than the church thinks and teaches people to think. Okay? Are you following me? That's exactly what the entire movie, cartoon, half/cartoon, real human movie, kids movie was about. And it happened in real life when it was released. Do you see the synchronicity of these? Do you see it? Okay? So, and furthermore, then I got to thinking like, wow, what other groups have had to hide their messages? And this just blows your mind in a whole ass backwards type of way, because listen, because that church, that Christian church, who was trying to stop this movie from being played, and probably still is, because you have to pay for it. That Christian church, that Catholic church, was once the church that had to hide their Bibles for believing in what they believed in, that differed from who was ruling them. And now on the flip side, they're doing the same thing to people that think differently than them. If you have to shut all other forms and lines and ways of thought down for yours to be the right one, then how can it be right? And if you're really that worried about it, what that says to me is that you know, and you have a guilty conscience, and you know, okay? No disrespect to any religion, any Christian, any cat, and no disrespect to anybody. I'm just thinking and sharing my thoughts, okay? That's it. I was a devout Catholic for 30 some years, okay? So it's all love. I'm just thinking, okay? And then I got to thinking about more things that different groups had to hide to be able to practice their own beliefs. Okay? I'm sure tons of other religious groups, but one thing that I thought, or not even just to practice their own beliefs, but just to be free, okay? Get this. See if you can connect these dots, okay? Do you know where cornrows came from? Braids in your hair, okay? Primarily in black people, although I did used to have my hair twisted up, okay? So, but the origin of where cornrows came from was pathways inbraided into the scalp of slaves who were trying to run to their freedom on the Underground Railroad. And the path was within their braid because they were hiding their escape route, bro. Oh my God, prison guard. Okay? That's a little bit different connotation, but he was hiding his escape route and tattoos on him. Okay? They had to hide. They had to hide their path, their escape path to live their life as they wanted. You know? It's wild, okay? Now, let me see. Okay, teach us stuff through movies, like Christians burning Bibles, hiding the truth. Yes, the whole thing about all of that was that the truth is trying to be hidden. And any truth is trying to be hidden. The Bibles are, the Christian truth is trying to be hidden. The open-minded is travel between worlds truth with special Stardust is trying to be hidden. Just like, if every truth is trying to be hidden, who is hiding all of these? And who is so worried about a different type of truth coming out? And what is it going to do to their truth? You know what I mean? Like, I told you we were going to get deep, guys. I told you we were going to get deep, okay? We get raw and deep from beginning to end. No cuts, no edits. So really that just tells me that you have to live only your truth. Only your truth. Because that's only the right truth for you. And nobody else can tell you what your truth is. Nobody. No other human can tell me what my truth is to live for my life. And if you think that you can, sis, bro, heal. You don't have that control over me. You're making yourself mad, baby. You can try. It's like this guy that commented on the video of my daughter walking in Fashion Week saying I failed as a parent and you shouldn't let your daughter look like that and that. But mind you, my daughter's a grown adult, so what am I going to do? She's living her life. What do you want me to do? Tell her to go put some clothes on? Put a robe on? Like, what? Are you kidding me? Because he wanted me to believe his truth was the only right one. He wanted me to believe that I failed unless I believed what he believed. And it's crazy to me that we are in 2025 and we're still talking about, it's February, 17th? February 17th, 2025. And we're still arguing over, no, you have to believe what I believe or you're not right. Guys, wake up. Wake up. Oh, gosh. Okay, I got goosebumps, y'all. Oh, my God. And then the ending thing. We just started another movie, right? Now, okay, we started, my partner puts it on. I'm like, this looks really cool. What is this? In like the first 5 minutes, just because it just looks neat. Okay. And he's like, actually, I don't even know. I just clicked on it. So I'm starting to watch it, right? And all day I've been thinking about how to formulate this video and how to keep it in line and not get too far off track and how to bring it all together. And I'm sitting here watching this new movie that we just put on. Now, mind you, never mind. So this new movie, and it starts talking about, I can't even recall. I don't think I wrote that down. Oh, yeah, I did write it down. Wow, I might have to start keeping notes. This might be a good thing, guys. This might be a good thing. Just like key points, That's it. So this girl, she wakes up in a mental institution, a mental health clinic, they called it, to help her. She's like, what is going on? And it's like a heaven place. Everybody's dressed in white. And two men come in and serve her breakfast and a pitcher of water on platters and everything. And she tries to get out of there right away. She tried to escape off rip. Good for you, girl. She didn't want none of that breakfast. But anyway, she gets caught. They take her back. They explain to her what happened. She's like, what? Where am I at? Okay, this is all within like the first 10 minutes. I had to stop the movie because I wanted to come do this video before I take in all this other information from this movie. Okay, I wanted to get all this out first. So she wakes up and the lady that's in charge of the mental health institution is like, we're here to help you. We're here to protect you. We're here to help you get back to you. Okay? And that just made me think of mental health and the stigma and the meds and I've been through this, so I can talk about this, okay? And how sometimes, okay? I'm not bashing anything. I have been on medication for mental health, okay? I'm not currently, and I'm very happy about that. But at times in your life, sometimes you need a Band-Aid for a scratch on your arm, right? Sometimes you need a Band-Aid. So sometimes you need an invisible Band-Aid for a scratch on your brain, okay? That's the best way I can say it. A lot of people won't understand that, okay? So do what you need to do. Fuck what everybody else says, okay? Nobody else matters, okay? But on that note, okay, I'll give my own personal experience so you don't think I'm talking about, okay? I was on a particular medicine for panic attacks and for agoraphobia, which is basically being terrified, horrified of everything. I couldn't leave my house for almost a year. My hand would shake like this when I reached for the doorknob. Okay? And while at that point in my life, I as hard as it was for me at that point, because I thought that taking the medicine meant that I couldn't handle myself, okay? I didn't realize that it was a Band-Aid for my brain, just like nobody has a problem putting a Band-Aid on our physical body, okay? So, I was on a particular medicine that was supposed to regulate me and help me be normal and help me be able to walk outside and to be able to hold a conversation and to be able to answer my phone when it rang or to be able to respond to a text message without waiting a month, okay? And while it did help allow me to work on myself with eventually, it also made me feel like a zombie. Wow, like a zombie, like I said in the beginning of this video, like the people that haven't woke up and haven't started on their own journey. Okay? And they make us feel like we need all these things. And it's okay. It's okay to use a little crutch sometimes. It's okay to use a little crutch sometimes. But use that crutch to get back to you. Make sure that that crutch doesn't change who you are. And it just made me think about this movie that I'm about to go watch and just kind of watch it with an open mind, you know. And, and then I paused the movie because I'm like, well, what's the name of it? Okay. The name is called Paradise Hills, bro. If you watch any of my other videos, I posted one about, I'll put all these links down there. I know how to do that now. I'll put all the links down in the description for you to go and watch these. But I was in Vegas recently, and there were messages in the sky being written by fighter jet planes, okay? And supposedly, go watch the video and you'll know why I say supposedly, they were promoting a new series on Hulu, which is called Paradise, okay? This was a phenomenon I have never seen in 41 years, okay? And I just find it a little suspicious that Hulu isn't even taking credit for these messages. And anyway, but just like, that just added to this like matrix of knowledge. I just poked myself in the eye. Did y'all see that? Oh my God. Okay. It just adds to this matrix of knowledge. This movie's called Paradise Hills. I can't wait to go watch it and come back and tell you guys. And if you've seen it, comment. Let me know. Start this talking. That's how you learn. That's how you grow. I'm not saying you got to believe this stuff. You could be sitting there like, this bitch is crazy. She needs to go back on her meds because she's lost it. I don't care. I don't care, because I'm planting seeds that one day in your life, you're going to remember this crazy bitch, okay? Am I even allowed to say that? You're going to remember this crazy bish? Am I allowed to say bish? Should I go with witch? Witch. You're going to remember this crazy witch. And you know what? That's all I need to say. All right? I love y'all. Peace. Oh, I'm so good at hijacking my own thought. Okay, I just looked down at my paper, and the very last thing that I had written on here was, the meds keep us sleeping. Okay? Do they? I'm just throwing out thoughts again. I'm not taking shots at anybody on medication. I am a huge advocate of mental health. Everybody has mental issues. Everybody needs health. Okay? So don't take that like this. But what I'm saying is there a bigger agenda by the pharmaceutical companies and by the government and by all these billion-dollar companies that control us? And sometimes for our own good, but sometimes, is it excessive? Are the meds keeping our minds asleep so that we don't awaken, so that we don't learn, so that we don't search for the stardust? What else is doing it? You know? And actually, you know what? Don't focus on what else is keeping us from enlightenment and from learning and from wondering. Just do it. Live in abundance. Realize that there is so much information out here and so much to learn about your life, my life, our life, right here, right now. And just don't let anybody stop you. And don't let anybody make you feel weird for thinking a different way. I'm not saying I believe all the stuff that comes out of my mouth quite yet. But I definitely don't believe all the stuff that I see on TV or that any other human tells me either. So I have to find my truth, just like you got to find your truth. People will try to stop you. Here's another little tidbit into this matrix of knowledge of information that we're discussing right now. Just this morning, I try to post one quote on my page every day. It's like I get them off of Facebook, actually. And they're just really cool quotes with an image that just really are thought-provoking, or just really like, oh yeah, that's right. Just just little reminders. And this morning, I picked one that had the quote. Let me make sure I get it right. You will be tested. Show them that you've studied. Okay? And I feel like that's what I'm doing right now. I'm studying, I'm sharing thoughts, I'm just sharing my life with you, man. Because what's the use in learning all this and having these different thoughts and wondering? There's a reason that I think all the time. There's a reason that my brain is always going. There's a reason that I'm pulled to make this channel. There's a reason. There's a reason. So find your reason. And I love you.